The cycle of manipulation versus the cycle of self-care. That's what I'm going to speak to this morning. And how we manipulate. And we're our masters at manipulation. You can see this in various different ways. How this has come to you in your life, how you have passed this on to others in your life. You could potentially see this in your own experience as a human being. One of the ways I was picturing this as I put these distinctions together is how the mind speaks to the heart, which is a very curious relationship, how the mind speaks to the heart. It's a manipulative relationship, you could say. And if it lives in our body, it certainly lives in our relationships. And so that's one of the things to think about and to consider as I lay out these distinctions for you. And my hope is you can find yourself in this conversation. I want to walk you through these distinctions. Cycle of manipulation. I am fragile because I am a victim. My story is how I leverage your pity and guilt to my advantage. Again, you can perhaps see the mind and heart at play in this conversation. Mind, victim, for sure, has lots of evidence of why the mind is a victim and how the mind can leverage pity and guilt to get what it wants. When I have energy, I'm elated and I will bully you because I have the energy to overpower you and bully you. The mind can bully the heart, absolutely. Shut up down there. You don't need anything. Quiet down. You don't get to have a voice in this. And how we can turn away from things that are important to us, our values for sure. Things that are important to the heart, vulnerability. Nope. That's not safe. You don't get to be vulnerable. Close yourself off. Turn away from people. Hide in your home. People aren't safe. You're not safe. We can bully ourselves into submission. We can do that easily. When I am depleted, I'll be vulnerable. And so when I'm depleted, I'll be vulnerable. We can be that way. Care for me. I need you. I can't care for myself. I'm too depleted. Make me soup. Hug me. Do something for me. I'm so depleted. Take care of me because I can't do it myself. Have you ever acted that out? Somewhere in a relationship? Perhaps played that vulnerable side of you out, the victim side of you, to get something from someone? I'm a weapon, vicious when needed, kind when it serves. That is the mind for sure. We can be that way. Vicious, a vicious weapon. And we are that, absolutely. We can weaponize ourselves very easily. You ever been in an argument? Woo! You ever find yourself being vicious in an argument, wanting to win, make somebody wrong so you can be right? That's one of the ways in which you turn into a weapon. And it's tough. Oh, you're tough. I can imagine some people in your life have been telling you that for quite some time, that you're tough at times. If I keep you confused and feeling sorry for me, there's the pity, you'll never leave me. You cannot abandon me. If you do, I will suffer, and it will be your fault. That's the guilt side. That's how we can play games with people. Make sure that they feel pity for us and feel guilt for not doing what we are asking or demanding of them to do. Again, that's certainly the mind to the heart. And we can live in this cycle, the cycle of manipulation. So much so this is all we know. Swinging back from the pitiful self, back to the guilt-ridden self. And it's a hell of a sway. So much so we're just living in the wobble, not really knowing ourselves, just this cycle. I have the power, not you, and don't ever forget it. That's our position in relationships. If we're not careful, we'll surround ourselves with people that we consider weaker than us, just in case. Just in case. We're not getting what we want. We can crush them into submission to make sure we're getting what we want. Sometimes we do that in the short term. Sometimes we play the long game and just pick away at somebody's character until there's not much left. These are the games in which we play internally for sure. And if that's true, we're doing it in our relationships as well. I found this topic quite fascinating over the last little while because I'm still a fool. That's true. I'm definitely a fool. But in the past, I've been quite the fool. And I've been caught in this cycle of manipulation in relationships, and it's been quite devastating. And I'm seeing this in a new way. because I've been wrestling with myself over the last many months, trying to get myself out of this cycle and to be able to see a particular relationship more clearly. And this is the relationship I was in. Absolutely. I was duped, and for a very long time. And it's very painful for me to even admit that, because I find it embarrassing. Embarrassing that I've been duped. I was duped for so long. And I don't like that side of me. It's the very reason why I'm speaking about this. So I can speak about it, essentially. And so I don't repeat it in the future, because there's a part of me that was blind. I can see that now, willfully blind. Feeling pity towards somebody based on where they had come from, and then also fell for the guilt-ridden experience if I tried to alter the experience in some sense, which meant taking care of myself in a different way. That was not allowed. So often I speak about sensitive issues, more so very sensitive towards me, because I have the experience I can speak from. And this is my attempt to make sense of myself and include others in the conversation and potentially learn from you, or perhaps you learn something from this conversation that changes you in some sense, that wakes you up in some sense, so you don't fall for the same thing. Because it's very easy. We're amazing human beings. We are just so incredibly intricate in our approaches. And if we're not careful, how devastating they can be. If we're not paying attention to where we're placing ourselves, not only ourselves, but in relationships. They can be catastrophic. I like to speak about these matters before practice, because what you may see and notice is these are playing out in your mat practice. It'd be easy for you to be the depleted weakling on your mat or the elated bully. That's easy. And so to be able to capture these conversations and these strategies real time playing out in your life, because they will. And how you motivate yourself through these strategies, because they're tied to things. You get certain things from these things. You get certain things. That's the point. Whatever that looks like. And that's what you have to stop in some sense, is the ways in which you get certain things in your life through these strategies. You have to stop that. And that's tough, because what's waiting for you is the experience of feeling things you don't necessarily want to feel, like being vulnerable, or lonely, or unsupported, or unseen, or unheard, or all these different things. But that's what we have to stand at. That's the stop point. It's like, okay, I have to feel what I need to feel. Otherwise, if I don't, that's what's going to play out and continue to play out. So best I get a hold of myself. And that's the benefit of this practice. You get to get a hold of yourself. Hi, my name is Kevin McQuillan, and if you resonated with this video and would like a more individualized and intimate experience, I invite you to my upcoming program called Fulfilled. It's a 4-week course specifically for women seeking greater ease and fulfillment in their relationships. If you want more information, you can find that in the link below, and I hope to see you in program.